Welcome back, everybody. It's an 0-2 deficit now for Miracle. Having a bad night, G-Clef. And Black seems to be really shifting up the the heroes that Rich is playing. He's playing the Arthas. He showed us at Eastern Clash. The Dahaka already dominated game number 1. I don't know where we're headed for game number 3, but it's Black's choice. I feel like they might take us to good old Cursed Hollow, Towers of Doom, maybe.
I think that's a very likely choice, and so far, Miracle. Sergeant Hammer, let's go back to game number 2. Are they really finding the best top-tier heroes in this meta? I think they're very away from it, actually, and it's costing them big. Falstad, of course, comes out sometimes, has a pretty good win rate, but only if you can play it perfectly, and when you have the teamwork, when you have the perfect shot call, when to fly in, fly out, use the guts to save your teammates. That was just not there in game number 1, and also game number 2. The teamwork was very disjointed.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit messy, shall we say, and it's just unfortunate that they had to pick a hero like Sergeant Hammer. Like, what other heroes could they pick? Maybe Nazebo.
I honestly think Nazebo could have been
Falstad. Like, it's rough, but we're headed to Dragonshire, so I actually expect us to head to a more timing-oriented map for Black, like Towers of Doom or Cursed Hollow, but Dragonshire, not a bad one here for them. Obviously a strong map in terms of rotation, and I think that Dahaka has to be valued highly for Miracle, or else Rich will just first pick it again.
I think Dami's Dahaka in game number 2 was decent, even though the team was really getting picked apart every single time. So Dami's Dahaka should come in very handy for MVP Miracle. And this is the map where they can pick up lots of their favorites. Even Kel'Thas comes out here sometimes. And crazy moving on. Genji was not the most common one. And it really showed in game number 2 that he was often down half health before the team fight, or his positioning. The moment he dove in with the Dragon Blade, he never really found those kills, got no resets at all. So maybe in this game, let's see some more comfortable heroes of Miracle. I think Black is also knowing that Miracle's what their comfortable heroes are, banning smartly today.
Okay. I think you're right. Of course, they show Artanis on the shrine in the little video down there. I never noticed that. It's like, that's H82, man. He finally made it. He's in a hero's official video. Zul'jin's like, I'll fight the Dragon Knight. I'm like, no, man, that's not a good idea. It's going to be first ban Garrosh, actually. So let's see if they first pick the Dahaka, because I think if they don't, Rich will take it. And it's not a must pick by any means, but based on what we saw in Sky Temple, I'd be terrified to give it. But they want the Genji. Did not work well for them in the previous set. Was shut down by Arthas. And Tassadar, will we see Dahaka with it, or are they just going to see the Vala? Interesting way to approach this. It's going to be Greymane. So Task, Greymane have an exclusive one for Black, feels like.
And they've been picking those two almost every single time when they had the second pick, especially on Dragonshire. Same as yesterday also. They can hide, they can provide. They have a solid DPS picked up already. There are lots of choices for tanks. They have Dahaka. Of course, we saw Rich's Arthas back in game 2. Tassadar can pair up with basically anything. They have many cards. They have Tracer, they have Vala, they have Lunara. So it's hard to target ban, steal away everything for Miracle. So Black's approach is very smart here.
Well, let's see what Miracle wants to take now, because Dahaka's still available. I think that's such an important pick. I don't think we're going to see it on Black now anymore, but it could be banned if they don't take it here. It's a great tool. Dami on screen right now. He's the guy we're talking about. So what hero he'll be running. 3 seconds left to decide. Rhaegar and Tyrael. So they want to go down the protection route for Genji. Wanted to make him one of the hyper carries here, where they will trade off, at least for the time being, the global. So in terms of banning now, they could ban the Dahaka. I don't think that's where this draft is going for Miracle. I don't think they want to run it anymore. Still a possibility, but it's a tough ban actually now if you're Black.
I would just say ban Leeming once more.
I was going to say the same.
Moving.
Because Leeming is the extra poke that Genji does not have, the extra burst. Doesn't have the greatest pairing with Tyrael, obviously. I'm gonna ban Falstad. That's in the old days, this would have been a really strong ban because you know they don't have a global. You want to remove that, but here, Falstad similarly doesn't synergize that well with Tyrael.
Maybe Black is considering picking up a global for themselves, so they want to ban the other one that's available, and ETC is a little bit out on this map anymore. So I think for banning for Miracle, this is a real tough one. Because there are so many options. Uther, of course, can be a comfort one.
Well, this is because they are picking Rhaegar in second rotations, they're tossing in the Uther bans. They didn't do it in game 2, but all 3 games they picked Rhaegar in the first 2 rotations of draft, and this is now the 2 versus 1 where they've taken the Uther away. Only in game 2 they took Greymane away instead. So Greymane now, given he doesn't have Uther, he doesn't have Tyrael, it feels like an anti-Greymane draft in a lot of ways too for Miracle. They removed both the big supports for Greymane. Kharazim is not going to be the strongest. It worked well for them on Sky Temple, obviously. But that game was won by Rich's Dahaka more than anything else. So Kharazim's still the likely go-to now with everything else removed. But definitely not the strongest Greymane draft they could ever have. They don't have the Tyrael. And I wonder what they're going to take now to kind of clean up the pieces of what Miracle has kind of shoved into the draft here. Will they go for the Dahaka again with the Kharazim? No, it will be Stitch. As soon as I saw the Stitches, I thought we were going to see Malfurion, but Stitches, Kharazim. So a long time no see for Stitches. This will be his first game in part 2, actually.
Stitches, Kharazim, that's interesting. I think because Liming is open on the other side, taking Kharazim and palming the perfect person. So Miracle does not get the reset. I think that's the line of thinking MVP Black is doing right now. Of course, Malfurion is the pair up, the easy pair along with the CC available. But Black, for now, Greymane does tons of damage. But when Kharazim dives in along with him, we saw Garrosh just blowing up off the map. That's how much damage they can do, especially late game. So I think this pair is also pretty decent.
It also means that Rich could play Arthas again, because you can pair the roots into the hooks, so that's one way to control the fight. It helps shut down Genji, which we saw on Battlefield of Eternity. Dahaka is still an option in similar ways, so Stitches does pair well with those. So we're going to the Nazebo draft here. It feels like what we saw from
Dami
RRR.
Sonya, it's back.
And you know, the RRR draft that was similar to this one did struggle because they couldn't protect Nazebo. They couldn't get to the late game they were looking for on this map. And again, this 10-minute team, as you say they're called here in Korea, a new nickname for the team, will struggle post 10 minutes where they need to go with this Kharazim. And so now who's going to fight the Sonya in the top lane? You say Dami Sonya, but it was actually his Sonya was so poor that back in 2016 it was lockdown. That would force him to flex onto the Tyrael when Sonya was played in those drafts back then. It's not his best hero by any means. He has shown some good performances, but inconsistency, I think, is the name of the game for Dami. I think bringing the Dahaka in here could have been a better option to try to bring it to late game with the Nazebo. Well, let's see how he does. Rich will take the Dahaka, so it'll be Sonya versus Dahaka top lane. And this is going to be a good one. I think this draft sets us up for the best game possible on this map. With everything that's happened, the only questionable pick, I think, for all of this is the Stitches. Will he be good enough in these team fights? Will he be able to pair his hooks with, realistically, Force Walls and Dahaka tongue grabs? Those are going to be the big questions as we head into what could be the last game of the series, G-Clef. We're going on to Dragon Shire, MVP Miracle against their sister team Black. Can they bring it back, or is Black going to get another 3-0 sweep? Let's find out. MVP Miracle, Judy on Tyrael, Dami on Sonya, Jaehyun on Rhaegar, Crazy moving on Genji, and Sniper on Nazebo.
10초 남았다. 5, 4, 3.
And on the other side, MVP Black reset on Greymane, Sake on Tastar, Kyocha on Kharazim, Rich on Dahaka, and Tist on Stitches.
So some minion blocking going on here.
Oh, high-level mechanism.
High level mechanics. So high level!
Well, they're actually doing it so well, too.
It's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Right now, Sake's like, what? Like,
And
where's
they
the
leave
minions?
lane. Nicely done by maybe Miracle.
I mean, Black's just like, okay, but I still got him in like one shot. Well, they can't get any picks with this, obviously. Good safe play by Miracle. Remember, their goal is to delay the game as long as possible.
Starting from the very beginning, we saw those minions getting delayed. And with this die, I like this draft so much better. Game 2 draft, I was tilting my head a lot of the times, but Dami, Sonya, something that we can trust. And along with Jaehyun's Rhaegar and crazy moving on Genji, a little bit questionable, but this has a theme. It can have a dive when Genji wants to do all the damage. Sanctification will be very handy. Azebo can survive on the Sanctification, or even having Ice Block later on can be a very good protection for himself. It's going to be very effective against Black, where they will also try to be diving in for the kills. Sanctification is the best tool.
Rich missed a tongue grab, actually. Did hit his first two. Will actually get his Hearth interrupted. So when you look at the two trades here, where we're having Rich just kind of left in the top lane, Black's not responding to the lane swaps by trying to counter them or gank them. They just actually traded in mid, and they both actually got about the same amount of value out of this. So very even game. A slight lead for Black. As you can see, they damaged the mid fort a little bit, but obviously Dahaka, if he hits his tongue grabs, is going to be able to do more to delay than Tyrael can, even with his shields on the minions. So this is a great trap setup here for MVP Miracle. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough damage to get the pick they were looking for initially here, but the longer fight is going their way. Just barely does Tiz get out. So much damage on there for Nazebo. So Sniper actually building so many stacks here as well for his Widowmakers. And this was a great exchange for Miracle. Not just because they won the fight, forced taps, but also because of the Widowmaker stacks. I mean, it's really important to get those ASAP. Once you get that power spike early on when the quest completes, you lead towards that strong mid game, which can lead you towards getting to that late game, getting to that level 20.
Getting to the late game doesn't just mean you have to defend. You can also lead the game and try to go for 20 before the other team. That's the best way to win the game, of course. But as you just, okay, nice dodge on the crazy moving Rich. He has been very nicely done. Very consistent with the drags, but against all the small targets that Miracle has, with crazy moving coming out from crazy moving, it's going to be very good.
Very well said. Experience lead for Black now, as the ganks have failed for Miracle. They were very close, but gave extra experience to Rich in the top lane. Now they got the faster clear on these Siege Giants. And this is going to be a lot of damage under this wall. The Siege Giants of Miracle just trying to come out and defend. Rich misses another hook. Does a spray in dismay, I suppose. But I think Miracle is going to need to respond to this more. They sent Rhaegar home to Hearth because he cleared the cap solo, basically, so was low on health. So Jaehyun's now coming down, but Crazy Moving is trying to go for a flank. I don't think this is going to work.
Have to be very careful because Dahaka can join in any time and Sonya cannot.
Yeah. That's also a good point. That's why aggressively diving is risky. Sonya is winning the top lane, though, during all of this, so small consolation for Miracle is that they are actually starting to threaten that top fort. And they finally cleared up. All Giants are dead. Back to stone from whence they came. You notice that? Siege Giants turn to rocks when they die? It's kind of weird, but it's kind of cool.
The last throw is the important one.
The last throw, indeed. We'll see if this is the last throw for MVP Miracles. They're down 0-2. But, you know, so far this game, they've made good decisions. They are dominating the top lane with Sonya. They didn't lose much on this fort. They really were as patient as you could be, given the situation there. The cap take for MVP Black. Oh, nice, there's the hook. That's a death. See you later. That's the problem with the Zebo. No escapes. The hook is real. I was going to say, without the hook here, the rotation can come down. And sure, they lose a lot of the health on the fort, but they should have been able to save it. But all these things didn't come true. And now I'm a little bit worried for Miracle. Another hook, but it's onto a highly mobile hero.
Ice Block is still not, of course, they're not 13
They're not 13
yet. They're not even 10 yet, so not available. Had to be a little bit cautious of those hooks. Max range hooks were also. Notice how he's taking all the tank damage, so all the other heroes can do so much more auto damage with no slows coming in from the tower attacks.
Dami actually didn't toss his spear towards the members that were weak there. Actually tried to get the full health member that was furthest away, choosing that, prioritizing that, hoping that would mean the kill, but didn't get anything. Black walks away with everybody, and because Sonya rotated down, the extra pressure that she had on this fort is all now eliminated. So that was the trade-off for rotating in to try to get that kill, was that Rich would be able to clean up that wave. So he cleans it up and gets that extra experience, and now Black will have level 10. Heroic's getting locked in here. It's another go for the throat game. And 7-sided strike. Isolation yet again, just for whatever targets they can get. He's used it a lot on the supports if he can. We'll also use it on Genji when he dives in. This looks to be an unleash here as all waves are so far pushed for Black. And there's no way that Miracle can contest without 10. This fort was already basically dead. And it looks like Sake will just simply be able to start working on this mid-keep wall. There's no ammo even on the sentry cannon tower here. And I don't envy MVP Miracle's position now because everything has gone wrong. They're supposed to be able to delay this game for so much longer than this.
This is insane. They're going...
Like, Rich is 1v2ing
Their
meanwhile.
confidence level is crazy. Reset started the camp before the Dragon Knight. They took every single thing. Dragon Knight's on the bottom. They were pushing mid, and they're getting EXP on the Sug.
Sank is used here, but it's still not enough to turn the fight for them. Crazy Moving has the Dragon Blade, but
Reset survives.
He survives. He actually didn't have a cocktail or would have gotten possibly the double kill there. But Black just played that beautifully. Even with the Sank coming out, they win the trade. Both keep walls are eliminated. Sake is like, I got about 8 seconds left on this. I should try to find some more value. He's just going to walk away. Could probably just press R to get out of the Dragon Knight at this point in the stage. He's like, I guess there's nothing else I can do. He's like, wow, the whole map is ours, and there's no waves anywhere, and I killed both the keep walls. I guess just press R. Cancel the Dragon Knight. Well, Black now has this incredible position. Double the healing, by the way, for Karazim as there is to Rhaegar, because the Black has been so grouped rotating around the map, looking for these objectives. They're going to get another one here. And no way to get the kill on a Crazy Move, but they're going to steal this cap. Sank is not up. It's not worth it anyways, even if it were. There's just another tool eliminated for Black. Sonya's not up at the top lane, so Dahaka pushed the top lane. Rich got extra soak. I feel like Crazy Moving and everybody on Miracle right now has already lost the will to win in this game, and there's no good decisions being made anymore. The early game started out so strong for them, but at this stage, they're just not making good choices.
7-sided comes Judy, gets a lot of the damage, but the healing comes in. Did not have to use the ancestral healing, so that's a good news for Miracle from that good hook.
I mean, the 7-sided with the Citrus Hook is a new way to use the 7-sided isolation tactic, I suppose. It's been pretty successful for them so far. Tisk gets caught here. They just need to retreat now. Won't be able to find more. They wanted to. Remember this Siege Giant cap was just supposed to be a deny steal. But with the nice hook they got there, they almost started to work on the keep. All the while, Rich is just PvE. How much more experience can I get up in the top lane? It's the song he sings to himself. As now, there's an opportunity for Miracle. They are very punishing here. They have Sanctification. They're just not reacting quickly enough. They do come in here. There's the Sank, but it's too late. The camp has already taken. Reset will very likely go down. Heals are coming in from Kyocha. He gets out. No way. Can't even believe it. We just saw right there. Rhaegar is actually the first to die and will not be the last, as this is a longer fight now won for Black against the Sanctification, against Reset being gone the entire time. And Rich is now just going to clean it up.
Reset comes back in and he gets the kills. Go for the throw, go for the kills, that's what he says.
Wipe against Sanctification. Well, they were caught. Reset was AFK, he was walking away to go get the to go get the well tap to come back to the fight. And still, Rich comes in, they get the fight. It was an excellent engage too with the leap from Sonya. The leap was really good, the Sank was also on point, the Ancestral wasn't so bad. Nazebo was in good positioning, doing so much damage, but it still just wasn't enough, mechanically speaking. Black wins out, and Miracle, they were in such a bad spot. They made a great decision to contest. That was their best option, that was the best opportunity to take a fight, and when you lose a fight like that, it feels horrible. And now they're facing losing a keep. They are going to maximize the caps here, as you say, getting the cap before the Dragon Knight so that it doesn't disappear. They're going to have the cap and the Dragon Knight marching down for this mid keep. The bot keep exposed already. If Sniper had gotten hooked there, that would have been a kill. Looks like they're actually going to go bot instead because it is exposed. And remember, you have to basically get to like level 19, 18, 19 before the keep goes down to make this Nazebo comp work. And it's going down right now at 10 minutes and 40. The 10-minute team, they've passed the 10-minute mark.
They passed the 10-minute mark, and Nazebo still needs a lot of time. Almost 3 levels down with this keep down on the Miracle's side now. The pressure will be real. They do not have the rotational work. They did not have fall stats, so that was a good ban coming out from MVP Black. With having Dehaka soaking so much EXP on top, they can just continue. There will be automatic pressure coming up from the bottom lane.
Yeah, look at the camp. It's at the top lane. They timed it before the Dragon Knight. They waited for the Dragon Knight just to make sure they could start it. So it comes up to the top where they push bottom. There's not a bad thing I could say about what MVP Black has done in this moment. Not a single one. And the thing is, they don't have to push for a second keep. If they get a pick, they'll get it. But they already got the objective they were looking for. The game is now snowballing in their favor. Looks like Miracle is just unable to contest this anyways. Sniper is doing a lot of damage.
Sonya wants to come around. Maybe they want to engage, so Black is going to disengage. Lami is looking for that angle.
Yeah.
Holding in. And always coming with the leap.
Looks like he wants to take the cap, but if he takes the cap, it means that... Oh, he's being so indecisive. Look at Dami on the mini-map. He goes to rotate down to look for the flank you were talking about, then rotates up towards the top to clear the night camp, fails to do it, then comes back to his own night camp, then goes back top again. Insane indecision out of the shot calling here for Miracle.
It's a hard decision to do when they're levels down and talent down, especially. The 16 talents are so strong for Black. Even Karazim can do as much damage as Sonya right now, so I think that's going to be the hard factor coming in. And right now they have to fight. There's no way.
Good cleanse here. The Ancestral is good on the Sniper. And they are doing a lot of damage with this. Dragon Blade is good. The Sank is also good. Look at that leap. 3-man here. Tist survives somehow for so long. Brazen gets him there with that last Dragon Blade slash, but he dies for it. Gocha will go down, so it's a 2 for 2, but Sake and the rest of the team are doing too much damage. Sniper can only do so much, but he doesn't have the heals. He won't be able to outlast. 2 catapults, 2 Siege Giants on the core. Rich with a B-step against his sister team here. This is the 3-0 everyone expected going into this series, and this will make the final score for MVP Miracle versus MVP Black for this season. 5-1 lifetime and 2-0 for Phase 2. 5-1, Black has defeated this team, only falling to them once in the semis of the Gold Club World Championship, but the performance was repeated again and again and again. And the gap widens, it feels like, each and every time we see these two teams face off, and there was no question in anyone's mind going into this series which MVP team was the stronger one. But after watching this, if you're a Miracle fan, you're just going to feel a little bit sadder.
I'm personally very sad. They had lots of problems, and I feel like Dami played so well today, almost carried so many fights, but they were behind every single time. I think if they were not behind, they could have won so many team fights. Reset on that Grey main. Ooh. I don't even know what other hero. I don't even know what hero he's not good at. He's good at every single hero. That's a top level world class player we see. Even Rich is allowing him to play. He's oftentimes very, very confident in those hyper carry, but allowing Reset to carry everything, and that Graven play in the bottom team fight, surviving that, coming back for the kills.
I think there was just a lot of problems with the shot calling. They had tools to collapse. They had some good team fights where we could see the glimpses of, wow, the shot calling is really good. When they went to take that fight, the neutral camp, they were a little bit slow on it, but it was still a good call. They ended up losing the fight just because mechanically it looked like Black outplayed them. Reset survived. I want to watch that fight like a million more times to know how that happened. But I'm going to download that replay. You can guarantee that's going to be on my hard drive forever. It's going to be a special folder like only for me. Even though everyone else will be able to download it too. But the late game control of how things happened, just everything collapsed. You could see it when I saw Sniper, like he was trying to decide, do we fight here? He's walking in and walking away. Sonya's up at the top, and you were seeing Dami like, would you guys want me to deal with the cap that they have pushing? Do you want me to take the cap? Wait, do you want me to flank? Like, what do you guys want? He's walking up and down. There were problems. Shot calling was not dominant. There was not a, okay, this is this decision we're making. We're going now. This is what we're going to do. Let's go fight. And I don't know. They just couldn't delay the game long enough. And the Nazebo comp on Dragonshire is a thing of the past, I think. I don't think it is going to work anymore. It worked for a time when the meta was slower, but that's just not the case anymore.
Yeah, even in Korea, it's so much quicker, so much faster. When lanes gets destroyed, Nazebo really cannot do much. Cannot even see 20 at all. It's usually the other team. But and also the positioning mistakes and getting those hooks, of course, Tush landed on pretty good hooks. Even hooking Tyrael when he's right next to it just to get a lot of the damage. Trying to take out those Sanctifications sometimes and draw out Ancestrals. Sanctification, that's a good way of using Stitches, just to use the short range. It doesn't have to be max range all the time, but getting all that damage is important. So the individual decision making and the mechanics from Black was pretty decent today.
Indeed, we'll see who we're interviewing from them. It was Tist yesterday, so I think we're going to see someone different today. We'll find out who it is, and Jikov, of course, will translate the interview for you guys. Let's jump into it.
자, 저희 인터뷰로 돌아왔습니다. 축하합니다.
We're back to the interview.
네.
Congratulations,
아,
Sake.
축하한다고요? 네. 지금 뭐 기분이 좀 어떠세요?
Congrats, Sake. How are you feeling?
네.
How are you feeling right now?
약간
형제팀을
형제팀이 이겨가지고 좀 그런가요?
Is it because you defeated your
네.
sister team?
그냥 저 뒤에서 그냥 W만 썼는데 왜 내가 MVP 맞겠지?
I'm thinking I just
모르세요?
stayed in the back
W
line and
중요한
used
거잖아요.
W, and I don't know why I'm up here.
다 할 수 있는
Anyone
약간
could have done it.
어색해서.
전 죽어도 안 되던데요.
의외라 해야 되나?
네.
So I didn't really
본인 생각하는
expect to
오늘의
come up
누군가요?
here today.
오늘
한 명, 딱 한 명만.
If you had to pick
일단
an
리치는
MVP,
아닌 것 같고요.
예. 설마 아서스 때문에?
not Rich for sure.
리치가
네.
좀 그게 좀 있어요.
Rich
요즘 추세가 투팅이잖아요.
네.
그래가지고
The double tank is the meta right
본인의
now.
그 피지컬을
네.
못 살리는 게 너무 아쉬워요.
And it's hard for him to
그래서
really
거의
show off his
슈팅을
근데
mechanics.
사실 리치
double
선수가
tank.
탱을 했을 때 그 안정감이라는 거는 이루 말할 수가 없거든요. 저희가 중계하는 입장에서 봤을 때.
안정감은 확실히 있고
네.
게임 승률도 훨씬 높은데
He's really
뭔가
solid as a
헛간한 게
tank
없고
and really
게임이 좀
has a
재미가
good
없는 것
understanding for
같아요.
sure.
그렇죠.
But of course,
왜냐면 리치 선수는
his hard carrying heroes are, I think, a lot
사람들이 잘안
better.
쓰는 거 사용하잖아요.
네.
알라라크도 그랬었고 뭐 캐리건부터 뭐 안
He used to
쓰는 게
play lots of
없었는데
hard to carry like
그런
Alarak,
부분에서
Kerrigan.
슈팅 메타가 좀 아쉬운가 봐요.
재미가 없죠.
아, 약간 좀 아쉽다.
So are you not
어.
really happy about the double tank meta?
금토
It's
때
not
많이
as fun,
나왔었던
you know.
신용 아니겠습니까? 이거 가로시에 대해 어떻게 생각하세요?
How do you think about
네, 네.
Garrosh?
일단 저는 별로 안 좋게 생각하고 있고
그래요?
유럽
Not a fan of
경기에서도 그렇게 좋은 평가도 아니고
Garrosh,
많이 안
even
나오죠.
with the double
디지터스랑
tank.
푸나틱 경기를 봤는데 한 판도 안 나오더라고요.
네.
그래가지고
네네네네.
I saw the
그냥
EU
우리가
games
생각이
with
같구나.
Fnatic game yesterday. We didn't see any Garrosh
그래서
coming
지금
out.
거의 가로시는 블랙은 그렇게 크게 신경을 안 쓰나 봐요.
So you're not really
그런지
considering
모르겠어요. 다른
Garrosh too
가로시
much.
뽑으면 저희는 오히려 더 좋아하는 것
Thank you.
같아요.
그리고 아까
I
전에
would
나온
actually
거 있었고, 뭐 밴으로
love for the
올리는
other
경우도
team
있고 뭐
to
그러다 보니까는
have Garrosh.
카드가 아까운 수준이네요.
그렇죠.
그럼
그래요?
앞으로 티란덴 좀 어떻습니까?
How do you think about Tirande?
그래도 유럽 경기 보고 쓴 건데 그냥 상황에 따라서 나올 수도 있을 것 같아요.
I've been watching lots of
가로시보다 티란데
European
훨씬 더
games, and I
괜찮다는
think
느낌.
in certain situations she
쪽에서
could be
투서폿을 많이
used.
써가지고 그냥 한번 스크림 떼봤는데 괜찮더라고요. 그래가지고
Used
her a few
그때부터
times
조금씩
during
꺼내게
scrims.
된것 같아요.
그러면 이제 저는 이제
And
뭐
she was
마지막
alright, so
질문인데
maybe she can be a
요즘에
pretty good
아무래도
situational card later on.
예전과 포지션이 좀 달라졌잖아요.
네.
그러다 보니까 픽을 좀 다른 것들 많이 하고 오늘 얼굴 표정 자체가 테사다는 거 아세요? 왜 그러냐면
And you're flexing
황혼의
flexing a
뭔가,
lot into
예,
the,
아이언에 가고
the
싶은 그런
team.
마음이 느껴질 정도로
네.
뭔가 고요해 보이고
You're using
약간
lots of different
재미가 없었단
heroes,
말이죠.
그렇죠.
working
설마
with the team.
딜러 위주로만 하다가 테사다로
Used to be lots of, used to use
아,
lots of
뒤에서
DPS,
그냥
the main
폭풍이나
damage,
쓰고
the
이게
assassin
아쉬운가요?
role.
그냥 편하게 버스 타고 가는 기분이에요.
탑승감
Is there
기가
any
막히게 좋은
changes?
버스.
It feels like I'm
누구였어요, 오늘?
on a MVP bus.
운전사는
They just
리셋이었으니까
hard carry me.
리셋이죠.
아 리셋.
I'm just on- Who's the one that carries the
아까
team?
리셋 그
Reset
도망가는
is the one that
피마크
carries
나왔을 때그
super
도망가는 거
hard.
보고 저희 깜짝 놀랐거든요.
형 실드 몇 초냐고 계속 묻더라고요.
네.
그래가지고 저한테 쓰고 제가
He keeps on asking,
네.
what's the cooldown on the shield?
그러니까 뒤에 빼더라고요.
약간 자생하는 느낌이네요 리셋
네.
선수가.
And
Yeah.
when the shield is available, he goes dive in. But when the
그러니까.
shield is not there, he always
좀
just backs
공격적이고
off.
잘하는 선수라서.
그렇죠.
He's a really good
자
player, you know.
오늘은 아바투르 인터뷰가 또 준비가 되어 있습니다. 아바투르 인터뷰이기 때문에 한번
Go
써보시겠습니다.
ahead.
안
With the
들어가요.
avatar hat.
들어갈 수
아,
있어요.
들어가요.
네, 충분합니다.
네, 이거
He's
사기
wearing
선수가
it.
머리가 작아요.
Is it
신정민
going to
선수가.
fit?
네.
신정민보다 훨씬 작은
아이고,
수준이죠.
세상에 완전 손
Wow,
들어간
he looks
거예요.
good.
Wow.
오해하지 마시고요. 자, 아바트로 인터뷰.
He is the
네.
Avatar player for the
부탁드릴까요?
team
네.
now, so.
뭐죠? 자, 아바트로 인터뷰입니다. 인터뷰는 사케 선수고요. MVP 블랙 팀은 대회가 있을 때 보통 몇 시간 연습하나요? 그리고
For every tournament,
켈투자드나 가로씨 같은 신영웅이 추가가 됐는데
Kel'Thuzad
리그에서의
is coming up
활용성에 대해 어떻게 생각하시나요?
how do you think
두 가지
the meta is
질문을
going to
들어봤습니다.
change,
네.
and how much do you practice
연습은
before the
일단
tournament?
스크림을 되도록 많이 잡고
We scream as much as
스크림을
as much
다
as we can.
어.
스크림을 하면 질 때가 있나요?
네, 줄 때도 있고.
You guys
스크림 때
lose
일단
sometimes?
많은 걸 써보려고
Yeah,
하기
we
때문에
do lose sometimes.
그렇죠.
We
연습을
often
해야
also
되는
try to
그런
use as
것만
much as
쓰는
possible during
항상
scrims.
투서폿을 한다던가 아니면은 좀 지원이를 좀 세게 지원이 쪽으로 많이 몰아준다던가 이런 식으로 많이 테스트를 하다 보니까
We test a lot.
승리가
Sometimes
왔다 갔다 하는
Rich
것
and
같아요.
Reset hard carrying or
그래도
off.
여러 가지 시도를
to find
통해서
some new
새로운
meta, new
전략이라든가
picks.
메타가 생길 수도 있기 때문에 그렇긴 합니다. 저희 마지막 질문인데
And the
2017년
last question?
9월 17일 일요일입니다. MVP 블랙 대 L5
와우.
엘 클라시공이 다시 열리게 됩니다.
And
요 경기가 사실
MVP Black
한국
vs.
팬들
L5 will
입장에서도
be
특히나 전 세계 팬들 입장에서도 굉장히 기대를 많이 하고
happening
있는
later on
경기인데
into the
혹시
into part 2.
L5전을 대비해서 추가적으로 더 연습을 하고 있다던가
Against them, are
아니면
you?
뭐
Do you guys have a,
각오라든가 이런
like
게좀
a
있을까요?
specific strategy or
일단은
preparations
제가
against
미드
L5?
시즌을 경험해봤잖아요.
네.
거기서 좀 뼈아픈 패배를 했었고
Eastern, it really-
메타적인 곳에서 많이 뒤쳐져가지고 저희가 가가지고 메타 따라잡기
After losing to
바빴어요.
L5, it was really
그래가지고 작년에
painful,
한국
and we
다
did a lot.
우승했을 때
We are having a lot of
메타적인 부분이
practices.
한국이 항상 앞서 있었는데 지금 유럽 쪽에서 영웅 리그나 이제 스크린 같은 경우를 굉장히 많이 해가지고 그
And
친구들이
before, Korea used to be on
많이
top of
앞서
the
있고
world,
저희가
but not anymore. And
주도를 해야 되는데
European
자꾸 따라가다 보니까
네네네.
색깔이 좀
meta
좀
seems to be the way to
많이
go, and
뒤처지는
we've
것
been
같아요.
following a
좀
lot.
억울해서 이번에 L5전보다 다음 주에 템페스트 있잖아요.
템페스트.
And
그때부터
before,
이제
even before,
저희가
there's a match against
새로운
Tempest next
무기한을
week.
준비했습니다.
아 그래요?
So we have something
더 세워지는
special.
블랙인가요?
좀 큰 무기죠.
그쵸.
그래요?
그러니까 계속해서 이제 새로운 것을 만들어서
Is it going to be something
리그를
entertaining? He
주도해가지고
says
네.
it's
이렇게
going to be
알고 있으면 되는
somewhat pretty funny,
좀 사람들이
fun to
좀
watch.
좀 의외인데라고 생각할 수도 있어요.
근데 좀
그렇습니까?
의외라고 저희가 놀랄 정도면요.
네.
You may actually
레이너를 해야
be
돼요.
feeling strange
원딜
after
레이너, 탑까지로
you see it.
원딜 레이너 뭐 이런 것들.
Feeling strange. You probably feel strange after wearing the Avatar hat. Let's
자
take that all.
앞으로의 이미지를 가고 마지막으로 듣고 마무리 좀 지어보겠습니다.
이번 블리즈
Last words,
컨을 위해서
please. 네.
저는 제 사비를 이용해서든지 어떻게 해서든 우승하려고 지금 마음 먹고 굉장히 열심히 하고 있어요.
I want to win regardless from Korea to go to BlizzCon.
이치만 들어오면 우승이 잘 안 되더라고요.
But whenever we go to big
의미네.
tournaments, it's really hard to
우승
win.
수문장인가요?
그래가지고 이번에는 진짜 꼭 우승할 수 있도록
네.
저희가
But this
연습도
time-
되게 많이 하고 있고 스크림도
We're practicing super hard to become the
웬만한 팀이랑
become the
다
champions
연락해요.
again.
그래가지고 엄청 많이 하고 있으니까
we're
L5전을
screaming every single day, so-
좀 많이 기대해 주시고 이번에는 좀 많이 다른 그런 MVP 블랙의 모습 보여드리도록
Please cheer for us a lot.
알겠습니다.
We'll
이번
also show you
시즌
lots
그리고
of different
블리즈컨까지
parts
네, 쭉
and
좋은
sides
모습을
to MVP
보여주셨으면
Black.
좋겠습니다.
Thank you.
자, 저희는 인터뷰는 여기까지
that was
마무리 짓도록
Sake.
하겠고 오늘 있었던 경기 결과
Sake, who came into the day with an 11 KDA after his match yesterday. 11.17.
11. Wow, that's pretty high,
It's
and
pretty high.
I'm excited. He says he has something special for us
Yeah,
next time. Maybe
that's next week.
we had something special from Rich one day. I don't want to
Yes.
talk about it. That starts with G.
We have had some special things. I'm excited for potentially the special play that comes out next week. I'm leaning towards maybe like an All-Rock or something like that, but that's just me. I don't know.
Alara can't. It's not too strange. He said strange, so it could be some crazy hero
Could be
that
Murky. Murky confirmed.
Butcher.
Could be Butcher.
Oh my.
I know Jay
But it's
Hal's
next
getting hyped.
weekend though, so it's on a different patch. It's on a different meta, so I think we'll see something strange. Let's wait until the match, but it's not over. We have match number 2 coming up, right?
That's right. Our next match is going to be RRR facing off against Tempest. Or sorry, not RRR. Raven facing off against Tempest. It is going to be a tough one for Raven, but we're not there yet. We're going to take about a 10 centuries break or so, and then when we come back, our second match of the night. We'll see you then.
I'll be dead.
Enjoy the wait. Enjoy it.